All right. Hello, guys. Welcome. Today's Tuesday, so the video needs to be posted at about 7. I usually try to post between 6 and 7 on weekdays, and it's currently 4:20 p.m. So we're going to bust this out really quickly. But this Friday, I have an art show downtown Fort Myers. So if you're local, come see me Friday night. Art Walk Fort Myers is downtown Fort Myers from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. But while I'm there, I think I'm going to want to do little tiny sketches of people's pets while they're out there, just as something that they could get done immediately on scene. And so that's what we're going to do. Make sure my mic's recording, which it is. So I'm going to do them little, this is 4x6. And so I'm just going to do a couple of them as practice. I've got 6 photos total, but I may not use all of them. We'll see. But we're going to try and see if I can get them done pretty quickly here. So let's go ahead with number 1. And I'm going to be doing it with watercolors. Let's make sure my watercolors are ready for me. Where are my watercolors? I'm going crazy. There they are. Found them. So I'm going to have them off to the side here so that we know that they're ready for us. But first thing we're going to do is draw it in. And so I just collected some pets from some of my friends so I can practice today. So I've got some pet drawings from some of my friends, some of Hillary's coworkers, things like that. So I want to be able to do it quickly, you know? People want to walk around. In other news, I've got some other big stuff going on. I have, if you heard in my last video, I am doing private classes now. I have them available on my website. I finally got that all figured out. So now you can book a private class right on my website, which I'll have linked in the description. If you're interested in learning how to make watercolors and you've always wanted to try it, or it's something maybe new to you that you'd like to give it a shot, I have both private and public classes available. So feel free to come check it out on my website and book a class. So this is a little pitty. He's really cute. He's like laying with his paws right in his face, which is really cute. You know, a lot of this is going to be being able to get shorthand marks in here for the dogs so that we know what's going on without having to go too crazy. It's going to come down to a lot of getting the right colors. So let's put that here. It's probably going to be a pretty simple one, kind of quiet. I don't want to do a ton of editing, so I'm going to have to do it pretty quick. So I want to be able to do these quickly, right? But I still want to be able to get a likeness for these dogs. So I'm kind of picking my battles here a little bit. I got to get the things that make it look like the dog without having to worry about all of the extra stuff. I think I want this nose to be lower here. Oh, don't do this to me. Sorry, my computer is trying to go to sleep on me while I'm recording. I got music playing on my headphones too. Hopefully you can't hear it because I don't want to get copyright striked. Okay, so I think a lot of this is going to be in the coloring phase, or the painting phase. It's going to give me my likeness. Okay, so there's a pencil drawing. Now I can come in and go pens. Oh, this is a bad pen. Hang on, let me get a better pen. This one got used on like a wet painting, and so it's all messed up. Let me grab a secondary one. I have a box of them in here. I just gotta remember which drawer the box is in. There it is. So one of the things I like about these pens is I can put them in before the watercolors and they don't get screwed up, which is really convenient for me. And so we can do a little bit of this here. I'm kind of picking where I want to put my lines. What? Okay. Okay, so there is our pen drawing, right? And then we're gonna come through here and do little touches with the watercolors. And so they're kind of off screen, but it is what it is. And I'll have just a little cup of water available. And then we'll kind of just make whatever we feel like we gotta make. And so this guy's white, so I get to have fun with that. We'll give him some shadows. And you see this this ink doesn't bleed when I put my watercolors on top of it, which is perfect for this. And so we can go like this. Okay, then we've got some dark brown, almost gray, but it's definitely more brown. Basically this whole ear. Got some modeling on this ear. Around the eyes. Okay. So you see I've got this dark section in here. There's a big shadow section in between his feet, just underneath his face. So I'm going to go in with some dark colors and darken that in. A little bit more on the nose. Okay. We're adding another layer of shadow here. Just some of these grays. You can see I'm not being super precise. The whole point is to go quick, right? So that's what we want to do. Now, some of my browns are not very brown. His eyes are brown, so we're going to add some brown in his eyes. I'm just going to add a little bit of warmth in his ears here, just for the sake of it. That's going to make them seem like they've got blood in them, which they do, right? It's a living dog. We want it to look like it's alive. And one of the things I'm going to do here is one of those numbers, so we can section it off, and then we'll give it a background, right? So for this guy, I think we can do like a lime green background. And in the case of, you know, these people getting their commissions, at the time, I'll let them decide what color they want the background to be. Or if they don't know, I'll suggest some for them. But I'm not going to paint the whole thing in, right? I'm just going to put in kind of some color around it. A lot of water, and then we can come in with pigment if we need to. Give some warmth to his nails here. Some more warmth to his ears and eyes. And a little more depth to his nose. Now that we've got a chance to. Okay, so there. How long did that take? 15 minutes. And that's all I really want to take on these, right? I think I'm going to charge about $30 to $40 for something like this. And so just quick, you know, bust it out real fast, 15 minutes. Let's try another pet, huh? So I'm going to set him off to the side. And let's see what else we got. I've got a couple of them here on the computer, so they just pull up the next one. Okay. This one looks like a bit of a German Shepherd type dog. So let's do that. I'm pretty much just going to do the face of the dog. Maybe a little bit extra if I need to, but I don't want to do too much, you know? I want to make it simple for myself. I want them to feel like they're getting what they're paying for, but I want to be able to do it quickly. So this guy's got his ears way up like this, so let's do that for him. Okay. So this guy's kind of got his mouth open, which once again is nice for some variation here. We got some teeth going on. I don't want to try too hard on the teeth, right? I want to be able to make it look right without working too hard on it. Okay, we've got some eyes here. I like to draw in the circle first. So I'm just trying to figure out his rough texture pattern. There we go. This guy's looking a little older than the dog I just did, so I gotta try to make him look old without making him look like like he's dying. Okay, so once again, let's grab our pen. Okay. So for these sections here where it's really basically just black, I'll just go ahead and cheat a little and just color it right in. Okay, I think I was a little too tall with its head here, so I'm gonna go just a tad lower. Okay, so this looks a little cursed right now, but let's get some colors in it. I think it'll fix it a lot. So first color I'm going to do is the lights. We work from light to dark when we paint, typically. So he's got kind of a light tan going on. Okay. And then we've got a darker gray brown. Okay. We got our base down. I want to keep making it darker. Pay attention to where the darkest points are. So the darkest point, the most contrast, is where we're going to focus first. And so I want to focus on the eyes. I want to focus on the nose, parts of the face that make it identifiable. Okay. And then for the tongue, it's obviously pink, but we don't want to make it too pink because it'll be a distraction. So I'm going to actually mix a kind of almost a purple color. And this almost looks brown. But what we can do is kind of smudge that around to get a base coat, and then we can add a bit more red to it. And that's going to make it a pink tongue without really overdoing it. Okay. We're going to add a little red to his ears, just like the last one, which it doesn't really have, but it's going to make it look more alive if we do that. And I can come back into a few points here with my pen, and I can work them in a little better. Okay. And then I've also got my white pen, so I can do things like this for the parts that need it. And add little highlights. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but some spots need to be highlighted a little bit. I can do that. Okay. I'm going to go a little darker here in his tongue. And background color. Last one was green, so we're not going to do green again. How about we do a nice light blue? This blue's a little too light, so I'm going to give it a little teal in it as well. But you see, this doesn't take me very long. And it gets a pretty reasonable likeness. I want to dry that off a little so that I can sign it. And then we just go, bam. Nice and easy. There's two, all right? And we're at 34 minutes. So it takes me about 15, 16 minutes per, which is perfect. Because for about what I want to get paid, if it takes me 15 minutes and I'm charging $30, that's $120 an hour. So, I mean, I'm definitely getting my worth here. I want to have the option to do cats too. None of my friends sent me pictures of their cats, but I have a cat. By a cat, I mean I have 4 cats. So I've got this picture here of my big boy Random laying down, and so I'm going to do a little bit of him as well. So silly. He always lays in the strangest positions. All right. There's my big boy. Sleeping. Okay. Oh. So now I can jump into my watercolors, just like all the other ones. Random is gray, much like a lot of my other animals I've been doing today. He's also got some lighter tan going on in his belly, so we're gonna apply some of that here. Okay. So he is striped, so we're gonna have to imply those as well in a second here. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and detail him. He's got some fuzz going on here, so I'm gonna have to make a nice dark color so that I can indicate some of that fuzz. Okay. Like all the others. A little bit of red in his ears. Make him look alive. I'm going to do some more work here with my pen. Where did I put it? All right, we can do some white. And then a background. For this background, we're going to go with red. What the hell? Sounds like fun. Oh, that's a fun color. We're going to do this color. And there's the third. So I think that's pretty good for today. Like I said, it's kind of last minute here. It's 5 o'clock, so I want to get this filmed. But that was 40 minutes for 3 drawings. That's pretty good, I'd say. 45 minutes for 3 drawings. So 15 minutes of drawing. I think that's going to be perfect. So once again, if you want one of these, come see me at the show this weekend, downtown Fort Myers, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will have a booth out there. Lately, I've been booth number 7, but that doesn't mean anything to you. It only means anything to me. You'll just have to come find me, I guess. I will update my location when I know. Let's pull in the other 2 that I've drawn. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll give these guys a look over. I think that's going to work for me. So we'll call it there. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Come see me on Friday. And I will see you guys in the next one.